Good morning, Dover. It's not the morning, and you're probably watching this after 2 p.m., but we embrace tradition.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Brenda. And we're your hosts for the Dover Daily, the only reliable source for Dover-related news.
Quite literally, the only source.
Yes, Tim. That's right. Now, let's get into this Dover-related news.
Let's start by taking a moment to highlight some things on the Dover High School Instagram page. DHS Dragon. Make sure to follow. Melanie is here to tell us about something fun coming our way. Here she is now.
Do you like competition? Do you like playing cornhole? Well, I have the perfect opportunity for you. Miss Smith is holding a cornhole tournament so you can have fun with your friends and classmates. Here's what she said on the topic.
Hi everybody, we're going to be having a cornhole tournament. Myself and Mr. Knighting are going to be hosting it on Friday, June 11th, right after school. Prizes will be awarded. You should have a Google sign-up form in your Google Classroom. You have to sign up with a partner. Forms are due May 27th. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Miss Smith. More information will come out throughout the week.
I'm a big fan of outdoor games,
Famously.
so I can't wait to see who wins.
Now, for something a little new, here's Grace and Jolene with a special report on sports.
The pandemic we are currently in has been going on for a while, but many people don't realize how much of an impact it has on things other than meeting up with friends and going out to dinner. COVID-19 protocols have spread from high school varsity sports through college sports and even up to professional sports leagues.
These protocols are nothing new, and many have been held in place since October of last year. Some sports leagues, like the NFL, have two different protocols, one more strict than the other. Many teams, like the Buffalo Bills, have been taking these protocols very seriously.
Every day we're talking about the protocols, following CDC guidelines, New York State protocols and mandates. So a lot of work behind the scenes, but it's all for the right reasons. It's for safety.
The NFL isn't the only sports league holding strict protocols. The MLB has a league-wide code of conduct regarding COVID-19 protocol. Part of the code of conduct states face coverings must be properly worn at all times when in club facilities and in the dugout, other than for players on the field during a game or pre-game warm-ups.
Going back to the varsity level, some of the same protocols have been put into place on different levels of intensity. Thankfully, the Dover High School sports coaches and athletes have been taking these protocols very seriously.
So Alexa, how do you think the school handled sports with COVID?
I think the school handled sports in a very efficient way and gave us a good opportunity to actually get on the field and courts again.
How has the school handled it?
I think they handled it well. Only one kid on the football team got COVID and no one else did, so I guess they handled it pretty well. No mistakes there.
What protocols did you put in place to prevent coronavirus spreading throughout the sports team?
So we did temperature checks at the beginning before the student athletes even entered the gym to make sure that they were healthy and well, they didn't have any COVID symptoms. We used extra hand sanitizer. We made sure students were socially distanced.
But what's next for varsity sports in regarding to COVID? Everybody has different wishes of the return of sports in the fall athletic season. And what do you think the sports will look like next year?
I think the sports will be less restricted and hopefully allow more visitors and hopefully without masks.
What do you think is going to happen next year with sports?
I'm thinking it's mostly going to be the same as this year. Maybe less masks because more people are going to varsities, but probably not starting when we mandatory all throughout practice and games and everything and do social distancing.
Thank you.
What changes, if you can make any, would you put for next year?
I think that making sure that each athlete brings their own water bottle is really important to make sure that we're not using the shared water fountains, that will be a huge change going into next athletic season, and just keeping students more like at a safe distance apart from one another.
Thanks, Alex.
All right. What's going to happen in September, I can't tell you. But we're hoping with vaccination rates and now 12-year-olds to 15-year-olds can get vaccinated, that a lot of these restrictions are going to be lifted provided we get all these vaccinations in.
COVID has definitely left a lasting impact on all levels of sports, but as time goes on, things are slowly getting back to normal. Hopefully, normal practices, games, and scrimmages will be back before you know it.
This is Jolene,
And this is Grace,
reporting for the Dover Daily.
Awesome work, guys, and thank you for collecting all this information for everyone to see. On the topic of sports, here's Lizzie with updates for the baseball and softball teams.
This past week, the Dover varsity softball and baseball teams had some games. On Monday, May 10th, the softball team played against Rhinebeck. They fought hard and the Dover girls played a great game. Senior Liv Audia made 4 defensive plays and turned 1 double play. Great job, girls. The baseball team also had 2 games this week, one on Monday, May 11th against Rhinebeck and one on Tuesday, May 12th against Onteora. The score on Monday was 7-1, but they won their game against Onteora with a score of 17-4 on Tuesday. Here's baseball player Alex Marino with his thoughts on the upcoming season.
I'm excited to get underway. We got 3 games coming up this week, and hopefully 3 next week, but 3 in a row. I'm going to be hanging by the end of the week, but it's okay. We got the whole weekend. Sucks that we have a shorter season, but it is what it is. At least we're able to play this year, and I'm excited for my junior season, and to get ready for the senior season and summer ball as well.
Our softball and baseball teams have games this upcoming week, so make sure to wish them luck.
Thank you, Lizzie. And that's not all for our sport updates. Here's Haiti with some info on track.
The Dover varsity track and field team had their second meet of the season this last Tuesday against Pine Plains. Karen Portillo placed first in discus. Esmeralda Vertiz placed second in discus.
Nice.
Grace Chapman placed first in both the 1500 and 800, and Lily Chapman and Jaden placed first in the long jump. Here are more clips of the Dover athletes.
Get that bird, Lily! Let's go! Let's go, Lily! Let's go, Dover! Lily, push it! Push yourself!
Good luck to our athletes in their next track and field meet today against Weewatuck, Pine Plains, and Millbrook.
Thanks, Haiti. It's incredible to hear all of this news from the athletics program, and kudos to you athletes who are powering through the pandemic.
Speaking of student athletes, I would love to see what Anna and Lily were asking students this week on Student in the Halls.
Hey Tyler! So what are you most excited about for the rest of your senior year?
I'm mostly excited about all the events that are planned, like prom, graduation, and the school has many exciting things planned.
Oh hey! Hey, are you going to prom? I am. Are you excited?
I'm actually really excited because I get to go through the classes.
Yeah? Are you going with anyone?
Yeah, I am.
Who are you going with? Nice! Hey Alina!
Whoa, hi Lily.
What are you excited about for senior year? I gotta know.
I'm really excited for gym class to get back to normal. So we can start
Yeah,
doing activities.
Is that your favorite class?
One of my
How do you
favorites.
adjust to COVID?
Thanks. Oh, hey guys! Hey! So what are you guys most excited about for the end of the year? We're really excited about prom. Yeah.
I'm excited about graduation. I'm very excited.
Oh my god. Do you guys have a dress yet for prom? No.
I'm thinking of one.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
Oh,
Figure it out.
excited! Thank you.
And this was Student in the Halls.
Oh my god, you guys did it! Oh, no, we're not answer questions. We're not answer questions.
Thanks, guys. I always like seeing what the student population of the school has to say.
Especially our seniors who will be leaving so soon. That reminds me, Lily Chapman has information for us about the Adopt a Senior program. Let's see what she has to say.
Attention seniors, it's that time of year again. We're doing Adopt a Senior.
Interested, please have your parent or guardian contact Nicole Photo at optonline.net so we can have consent to include you in the adoption. Anyone wishing to adopt a senior, please contact that same email so you can be added to the list. Some examples of what has been done in the past for seniors are decorating mailboxes and doors, gift baskets with snacks, and items for college. More information will be sent out to the parents and adopters once you make contact.
Thanks, Lily. I love the idea of making seniors still feel remembered.
You know what else I think that you will love the idea of?
What would that be, Brenda?
How the college application process has been stunted by the pandemic.
Sounds interesting, for sure. I'd love to hear more.
Perfect. Let's give our attention to Liv and Emily.
We are in the middle of living through a global pandemic. This pandemic is known as COVID-19 and is affecting everyone around the world in numerous ways. People are losing loved ones, students have to change the way they learn, and the way our world lives is changing entirely. Students who are part of the class of 2021 are especially affected by this. The way the college process usually works has to adapt to the way our education system has changed. However, is this new process fair to those applying to colleges this year? The college process this year is not fair to students because some students were unable to take the standardized test, students had to adapt to a whole new learning system last year, and the inability to visit colleges or universities. Here's a 2018 graduate, Chris Angelon, who was not affected by COVID, and his perspective on distance learning and how it changed his plans for the future.
Did not like the online learning, and it was more difficult, and I just didn't find it a good way to learn. I ended up dropping out of college after a year, and I became a roofer, so I love my career now, and I'm happy where I am.
Every student applying to colleges or even thinking about college in their future knows that the SATs are a big part of the process. In order to apply for college, one of the questions is what score they received on their SAT or ACT. Here's what Ms. Riley had to say about the SATs and visiting schools.
Unfortunately for you guys, it made a huge difference in that you couldn't really in-person visit the schools. You couldn't participate in interested students orientation where you walk around the campus, you get the feel of it. They had the virtual tours, which are better than nothing, but not great. I think from the student side, it made it easier to apply. I think from the college side, it made it hard for the criteria that they were looking at.
For the classes of 2020 and 2021, they were greatly affected by the pandemic. Summer Viola, a 2021 graduate, speaks about how it made an impact on the college application process and how she felt about distance learning.
I definitely think that us as seniors had it easier since we didn't have to do the SAT and everything. But I think it was a lot more confusing for us since we didn't have to do that. It was definitely more competitive. From a grand look at everything, there are people who are dying and we have to sit home and do school. So it was definitely harder to focus my energy on school.
And here's how Jade DeStefano, a 2020 graduate, felt it affected her in furthering her education.
I actually thought it was easier to do distance learning during senior year. I had to do college from home online, so it was definitely a lot harder, and you can't really ask professors questions.
With the pandemic, many students are having a hard time finding the good in life or the motivation to do something great. Colleges are still trying to figure out how this process is going to work. Guidance counselors, teachers, parents, and anyone who has been through this process before knows how stressful and unfair this process can be, so they find ways to help students. However, since everything is changing so suddenly and becoming more unfair, it's not always easy to help students who are having difficulty. Globally, we are slowly but surely finding ways to bounce back from the pandemic, and soon everything will hopefully be back to normal, especially the college application process. I'm Livonia. And I'm Emily Cedar, and we're reporting from the Dover Daily.
Thanks, friends. We appreciate such a well-prepared story. I hope we can see more of these special pieces in the future.
Personally, I hope that we can see more entries of Suggestible.
You're in luck. What did I suggest this week?
Welcome to this week's episode of Suggestible. Yeah, welcome back. This week, I'm suggesting a podcast. You possibly could be thinking, Tim, I don't listen to podcasts. Not applicable. This might help you if you are struggling in English class. Without further ado, this podcast is called Book Cheat, and it's what I'm suggesting to you, viewers, this week. At the beginning of every single episode, host Dave Warnicki says the words, "Welcome to Book Cheat, the podcast where I read the book so you don't have to." And that's exactly how it sounds. Every episode, there's our host, Dave Warnicki, and a new guest each time, and they have amazing, funny episodes on Catcher in the Rye, The Great Gatsby, 1984, Their Eyes Were Watching God, and Hamlet. And more! So if you're a student who needs the reading done for them, make sure to check out Book Cheat, available anywhere where you listen to your podcasts. That's all for Suggestible this week.
Thanks, Tim. That sure is helpful to students who only have 1 month of school left.
Okay, I say no to your attitude.
Oh well, that's all we have for you today, Dover.
Have a great weekend.